That may have been the case.
What?
Okay. All right. That was wonderful. It was perfect. Don't ever change.
I think we're live.
I think we are.
You're live.
Yeah, actually. Oh, God. Oh,
How is this no longer?
popping sound.
I wonder where this is recording to. Because
This should be a thing we figure out pretty quickly.
on one of my drives, there's only like a gig left on there. So, yeah.
I got nothing. Let me do
But D.
one of them.
Okay, it's going to D. That's
Because
good.
it has a bottle opener on it.
Oh.
See the end?
Where's the little one that we're using?
It's downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Look, most of the bottle openers have been distributed at random points around the cabin.
Sure.
That's why you got to keep one in your wallet. It helps.
Not when I don't carry my wallet around when I'm sitting around.
By the way, the popping sound isn't the recording.
Okay.
Because that's the only place I heard it. Yeah. I popped up YouTube and heard it in the recording.
What is that?
It has
Don't
to
know.
be. So I'm getting it on this end, coming in from the line in. So from it's somewhere from the call, so it has to be on that end. One of you two.
Well, we unplugged ours,
Yeah.
and he
I've
unplugged his.
shut everything off. Literally.
But the input is coming from, not from the board to the computer. It's coming from the computer back out. Yeah. So I can watch the two different mixer things go.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's getting real bad.
Yeah.
I've literally been off this whole time, so...
Casey, I'm sending you a different email address. He just sent it to me for some reason.
Okay.
Maybe he's logged in on the other account. I say to me, but to the show account. But...
I'm going to blame the fact that we have 2 tablets and
Yeah.
string cheese, and string cheese is not a good conductor, for anyone wondering.
We'll just move our phones. I'm going to move my phone. We throw the phones somewhere?
We'll need it to read from.
Moving the phones. Maybe that'll help. I don't know.
I don't think it will.
Probably not.
I think it's your tablet.
Well, I gotta have something to read from.
Move
And
it.
I always have the tablet out.
Not right next to the microphone.
Oh.
Literally has cables laying on it to cause interference.
Oh my. I'm gonna move it right here. I have something to read from.
It sounds like a radio station's trying to come in.
Yeah, it does. I don't think it has anything to do with the tablet.
You know, bizarrely, it is still not letting me pop out the chat. It's not even giving me the option.
Huh.
Invite is sent. I'm going to grab my beers real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this.
I was going to say, where'd the water go? It's right in front of me. I'm smart. There's the static. Starting in just a second.
Yep.
I'm just getting the last of the beers ready. Hoping to...
Should we unplug the laptop? Like the power cable's touching everything. I don't know. Or what else it could be.
What is up, Jim? All right. Well, Casey's near the microphone again.
I hear Casey throwing things around.
Yes.
There are keys involved. He may be driving off.
Oh God, no!
No answers. Damn popping noise.
That sounds like that sounds like a nice little blind taste test. I don't know if you guys can see over in the. Yeah, Furry Viking said he's got a blind taste test between Penny Roll, ZD, I was assuming Zombie Dust, and Knowledge, except it auto-corrected to, and I'm now leave.
Sure.
I am too.
I am become leave, destroyer of worlds. Oh shit, my door's open. My roommate's gonna get off work here in a minute. I will be right back, and we can start post-haste.
All right. Yeah, sorry about the static and feedback there. Oh yeah, we just got a nice mirror shot. Yeah, like your mirror and camera position, so we just got a great look. Mic's on, pants off, right? You're muted.
Can't hear you at all.
Look, I just thought we'd go the whole time muted this time.
Mic's on, pants off. Totally.
Mic's on, pants off. That's the way we like to sweat until we die inside this tiny apartment.
No, we had to get some fan action behind us. It was getting a little stuffy.
Hey, Tyler. What's up?
Tyler. Casey disappeared as well, or did he come back?
I'm back. You just can't see me.
Yeah. We're scared to pull up the stream at this point because the whole internet will just break.
It is, in fact, on Twitch.
Well, I got an email about it, so I assumed it's not.
It's problematic.
Well, I guess since you found a way around what we were doing, Casey, we can just do what we normally do, right? Like for the music.
Can you still hear the popping?
Yes, popping is still coming across. It's not that.
We apologize for any popping. There seems to be interference somewhere, and despite our best efforts, we haven't been able to track it down.
We apologize for the popping. I needed popcorn. We could not wait.
Sit a pip, pop, de pippy, de pippy, de pip, pop, pop.
Although
okay, that's out of my system now.
From pork
He doesn't
chops.
know how to join.
Does he know we're on Hangouts?
Yes, but he doesn't know how to join.
You
have the invitation sent to him?
You should be able to do it from a link as well.
Oh, yeah.
Let me give that to you. Or if you already got it on your end.
I don't know. I don't think I have it because I didn't start the call.
Okay.
Try that.
Oh wait, duh.
Yeah, you see.
I've already sent it to Casey individually.
Okay.
Oh. Send that to Ethan, Brittany.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who I needed to send it to, so I was like, I'll send it to Casey. He's the one running the call. He runs Barter Town tonight.
Wait, you already sent me a thing?
No, you've got to get it and send it.
It's
okay.
It's the same one that you were going to pick out.
Jesus, hold on.
This is a riveting episode. So.
literally typing those exact words right now.
Hey.
I just looked down. I was like I hear it as I have like typed riveting, and I was about to correct it, and I was like, how did he know?
We were out at a museum today, and I was just like, I need Bob here. No one's gonna appreciate these jokes.
You belong in a museum.
I'm sorry, what?
You belong in a museum.
Oh, I do belong in a museum.
I do, and I was. But no, there was a thing where you could go through it and do a lineup, and I needed someone there to do the usual,
The usual suspects.
And I was, yeah. But no, there was a thing where you could go through it and do a lineup. I was just standing there, and it was going through my mind, and I'm smirking, and I'm like, no, I'm so underappreciated.
Nobody gets it. All right.
Oh my god.
You get your phone away from the mic.
I don't think that's what it was. I'm trying not to miss any messages.
I'm waiting to be able to make out what the static is, and it'll be a radio station. I'm just gonna laugh.
Caller, turn down your radio.
I don't know what it is, but now it's like really crunchy.
Yeah. This is what happens when we stream across 2 different states.
And the country.
And the country.
We haven't even gotten the rest of the country in yet.
Come in, Alaska. Alaska, do you read?
He has the link, so there's that. Now the crunching stopped. Oh,
Hey! I see you, Amos.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry about some technical difficulties. We're all fine here.
It didn't help the fact that I was actually logged into the Ritual Misery account, and the invite went to my Ethan Kane account, and I was like, what am I screwing up here? This is like, why am I the noob?
We were chasing crackling in the system on this side, so it's all good.
Yeah, I can actually hear you on the other channel because I had logged in and was listening in on the conversation, like what, and then I went to log out to switch over accounts on Windows to my account, where my Twitter and things like that are LinkedIn, and it didn't log me off the webpage, so I was still hearing you. I was like, well, I can't join now because I can hear them twice.
I always have like 3 different things up just so I can make sure like we're actually broadcasting, and I'm like, nope, mute. Yeah. And then somewhere something comes in, and you'll just occasionally just see me just stare off in the distance and go, oh God, no, not like this.
I originally planned on joining you guys today from my bar, which I just recently cleaned out, but then we had to take a trip to Anchorage, and of course it snowed in Anchorage. It's snowing in Anchorage right now, and well, apparently Alaskans don't know how to drive in the snow.
You would think that's a skill they would pick up.
There was like 3 accidents. I was trying to get out of there, and I was like, just let me get home where it's not snowing and things are normal.
Oh, Lord. Well.
Times all around.
All right. Well, so everyone can start pouring. I think we're going to start this off with the amber.
Yeah.
And then we will actually hit the music and get this started.
Let's kick this big.
Getting squealing from the feeling. Good start, guys. Good start.
Who went from pour to spill? What's going on there?
All right. Welcome to Have a Drink, the show where you learn along with us about what you drink. I'm Brittany Lee Walker.
I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
I'm Casey Price, and
we'd like to introduce our second guest ever for the show, Amos from Ritual Misery Podcast. How are you, sir?
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. I wish I was at some of y'all's places. You look nice and warm out there. So.
Oh God, no, I'm too hot. They turned the AC off in my apartment, and it's like 80 degrees out.
Yeah, we're in Tennessee right now in a cabin. So
in beautiful Sevierville, just outside the Great Smoky Mountains, in this beautifully red-hewn room.
Yeah, definitely, it definitely warms the atmosphere.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's like a warm campfire.
I feel so strange because I'm normally the producing one, and Casey is doing it all this time, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
She doesn't have hands on anything.
I can change the scenes. Oh.
I just looked over, and for the longest time, I thought Casey just had a shelf over there that just had the beers in it. Like, wow, that's really nice. When did he put that bookcase in?
It's like
all right, guys. We have a few beers in this pack, so I think we've already cracked our first one here. So we are doing the Alaskan Sampler Pack, and they don't really do a seasonal pack, but they have just one-offs that they throw into these that we've figured out. We'll get to the one-offs later, but we're starting with one of the standards in every one of their packs, the Amber Ale, or Alt-Style Ale.
This actually happens to be my go-to beer. This is one I keep stocked in my fridge at all times. So,
Yeah. As to say, for those who don't know, Amos is in Alaska, so you're very familiar with this particular brewery.
Yes. And if it hadn't been for a change in the hockey schedule, I was going to bring my neighbor Brian over, who's a native Alaskan, to join in the festivities with this, but unfortunately, hockey takes precedence.
I was going to say it's hockey, so I could understand if I understood that game at all.
He's outside splitting wood right now before the snow comes, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go enjoy some beers. Last chance to join me." And he was like, I know the game's still tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, you gonna be hammered going into a game? Come on."
I mean, that seems like the best way to. Real quick, I do want to before we get too deep into about the beer, I have a new streaming shirt. I feel it needs to be properly broadcast.
Yes.
And
all right,
let's
do it.
Oh wait, let me do this.
It's just you're gonna give me some full screen here.
My favorite part is the very bottom there.
The viewers and stuff.
There it is.
I can promise you that you can only go about 3 or 10 years with nobody watching before you finally give up. I don't know yet because we're still going on the Ritual Misery podcast. So
right,
obviously have hit the point.
Hey, you're leagues ahead of us. So
Ritual Misery, that show that when I see it pop up in my like, something like, it's gone live, or if it's the next day, Patreon says you have a whatever. Oh, I guess I gotta get back to work. I'm behind.
Exactly.
All right, guys. So a little bit about this one, the Amber Alt-Style Ale. The name of this beer comes from the German word alt, meaning old. This refers to the aging that alts undergo since they ferment more slowly and colder temperatures than most ales. Slow fermentation helps condition the flavors in Alaskan Amber, contributing to its overall balance and smoothness. This is really smooth.
Yeah.
This is actually really good. I haven't actually had any Alaskan brewing stuff because they don't distribute to Kentucky.
Yeah, we had to smuggle it down from Ohio for you guys.
That's right. Okay.
So original gravity is 1.054. Your ABV is only about 5.3%, good middle of the road. Bitterness is almost rock bottom at 18 IBUs, and color's coming at 22 SRM. So, yeah, it's a perfect beer color. Like when you think beer-ass beer, that's the color.
It looks red to me, Chris.
I'm holding it to the light for me. To hell with you all.
It blends into the background of that shot. It's just like, oh.
It's just an empty glass, actually, it turns out.
Ooh.
So here you go. This is a really nice golden, like just shy of it's really good color.
Look at him being prepared with a flashlight under the beer.
No, that's for when the snow takes out the power.
That's not untrue.
Fair enough. How much snow are you expecting?
We're not expecting. Well, see, I live in the Wasilla Valley. Well, it's actually the Matanuska Valley, and in a little town called Wasilla, and we get less snow and warmer weather than anywhere else around us. We're like in this little pocket of warmth, so we're not expecting anything. They're expecting up to a foot in Anchorage. So,
sure. God, that sounds like Ohio, actually.
All right. So, what's everyone feeling on this one?
I like it.
So the reason this is a mainstay in my fridge is because I'm not very keen on bitterness.
Yeah.
So having a low bitter beer is, low IBU beer is really good for me. I also like the almost a caramel flavor to it. Like you can tell that it's aged for a while. It's not something that just feels rushed. It feels like it's taking its time.
Yeah.
But it's really scientific observations.
I would say the low bitterness is like liking low bitter beer is like, yeah, no, I remember what that was like before I started drinking semi-professionally.
Yeah.
Yes.
This had almost a kind of a crisp aroma to it when you first poured it out of the bottle. I thought that was kind of interesting for an alt beer especially, but it had a very lager-like quality to it, I think, whenever I poured it out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it's very lagerish.
Yeah,
it's really delicious. If I could keep this, I'm like now going like, man, I wish I could keep this in my fridge.
I get a very biscuity, toasted kind of biscuit quality from it.
Yeah, the malt really stands out nicely with this, but it's still light enough to not bog down the palate.
The cool thing about this beer for the style specifically is it is actually the quintessential example of the Dusseldorf Alt. So even if you do get a Dusseldorf Alt from Germany or Europe in general, you're going to find that this one's probably more accurate to that style than when you're getting it shipped 3 months on a boat coming this direction.
Yeah.
So there was a neat thing I saw when I was when we were getting some of the stuff ready for this with Alaskan Brewing's with their site, like for all of their beer styles, it would look like, oh, this is the beer. And it's like, no, this is what the beer is supposed to be. This is what that style is. And they go down and they break down what their stuff is. So they even list like the ingredients and some of that. So like, it's actually a little nice little step. Some of them do it, some don't. But they, because I was looking down here, like they're made from glacier-fed water, generous blend of the finest quality European Pacific Northwest hop varieties, 2-row specialty malts, and then, man, they really like where this water came from.
I'm going to go ahead and speak up to that real quick, and that is to say that I've gone glacier hiking. I've gone about a mile up a glacier and drank the water that was coming out of that, and there's no water I've ever tasted anywhere near how delicious that water was.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it affects the beer at all. I have no idea how it affects the beer. I just know that if I'm going to drink water coming out of any source, that's going to be my preference.
Yeah, I mean, it can only help, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did. That was one of our homebrew episodes before, right? We were talking about water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the lime water and stuff. Yeah.
So I don't know what glacier water's chemical makeup is going to be. I don't know if it leaches any of the minerals out on its way out. Since it's not
imagine chemically, it's 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen.
Mostly, there are some I think the trihydrogen and versions that I don't know. There's something weird that in versions it kind of changes, but. the majority of water, whenever you get it in for brewing, you're kind of just making sure that the other elements, the other components, are balanced out as well. And I would say that there's probably not a whole lot of calcium carbonate in this water, which kind of makes it a little bit more toward the light beer. It a little bit less, more acidic, even with the very non-dark malts. So you can go lighter beer with this, and it would taste just as good or better.
I know it's delicious. But I know.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just seeing strangers walk past Chris and Brittany on stream, and it's just...
Yeah, sorry. We are on vacation with my family, and we are like perched between the kitchen and the living room, between all of them and all the beer. So people are going back and forth.
It's fine. It just caught me off guard. I just kind of glance over, and just someone just walks behind, like doop 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 doop.
It's also known as a visual atmosphere.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
Indeed.
All right, y'all ready to jump into this next beer?
Yeah, I've been having to drink from my dump cup because I couldn't find my pint glass for a bit.
All right, I think we are moving on to the Ice Bay IPA India Pale Ale.
Oh, really?
No.
What about the white on
Oh, no? Okay.
White. Haha, it's not me this time.
there? The white.
I'm not at home and completely thrown off.
Yeah. Guys, we're broadcasting from a Surface laptop, and a blue snowball might give us a break here.
That gives Chris no break for not knowing what beer to go to.
Well, it's because I'm hogging the dock. So
Oh, okay.
on the iPad.
Gotcha.
I kind of just want to put all of my beer glasses just like right in my lap right now because it is entirely too hot.
That's fair.
That
Not
makes the
specifically
beer.
my lap. I just mean my entire body, and that seems like it'd be a place to cool down. It's not getting better. So talking about this beer. This is a Belgian-style wit beer. Alaskan White Ale is based on the Belgian-style wit beer. Literally translates as white beer. White beers, or Witbieren, I guess. I'm not German, I'm guessing.
Go for it.
Our
Amos,
name,
I'm sorry.
our name for these suspended wheat proteins, creating a cloudy appearance in this unfiltered beer. Initial gravity 1.048, ABV 5.3, bitterness 15 IBUs, color 7 SRM. Can I just say when I say the color, I always just think like we're judging diamonds. Yeah, I need like a little weird monocle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like oh yes, indeed. They've got the flavor here. I guess I can read that. Alaskan White Ale is a soft, slightly sweet base, a unique spice aroma of coriander and crisp. I guess crisp citrus fruit is how they go, but that grammatically there's whatever. Crisp citrus finish and of orange peel. Orange peel. A light, effervescent body combined with the smooth palate creates a complex and delicate beer that is delicious and refreshing in any season. I do like wit beer. I like what I'm looking at when I see the color. So let's
You don't
find
mess
out.
around with that pour either.
I'm here by myself.
He's
Don't judge
pouring
me.
for one. So, okay, I've got to say, it tastes exactly how it smells to me,
Yes.
and that is Fruit Loops. I swear to God, it tastes like Fruit Loops.
I was gonna say Fruity Pebbles. That's so funny.
I
thought that
could
was, like,
kind
a
of see
weird-
that because it's got a bit of that sweetness that I remember out of like drinking the milk from Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles, I think they probably have that lemon, and it may be the lemony, citrusy, orangey zing that you're getting.
Yeah,
But the
so
mouthfeel
I can
is
see where they're coming from, but I like this.
Yeah,
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
I had actually not had this one. The others in this pack, except for the Amber, in all the Alaskan beers that I've had, and this is actually really, really good.
Yes, it's real. I mean, this is real easy drinking. It's not gonna bog you down. You could, I'd say, quite sessionable.
The mouthfeel is very creamy. So yes, saying it tastes like the milk from the Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles actually makes a lot more sense.
Tyler has some fighting words down here in the chat saying that Fruity Pebbles are better than Fruit Loops, and
I can agree with
I can't
that.
agree with. I can't.
I
like some. I like some substance to what I'm eating.
Is it a 2v2? We need a tiebreaker in here.
I think Fruity Pebbles are better.
All right.
Pebbles.
No, I think everyone but me likes Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought.
I've just always thought they were just like, no, there's nothing
So
here.
Pebbles get soggy in milk quicker, but they don't last that long. Like I just gobble them up, and it's not an issue.
I feel like Fruit Loops are more cardboard textured.
It may just be that we never got that much Fruity Pebbles when I was growing up, so maybe I don't have as much experience with them. But
My only problem with Fruity Pebbles was the fact that the bag wasn't waterproof, so I couldn't just pour the milk straight into the bag. You actually had to dirty a bowl. That was my only problem with Pebbles.
Why did I never think of that?
That's one
It's
technique.
genius.
It's a valid concern.
you just use like what they do with the little tiny package boxes of cereal, and you
You fold it
turn
over.
them side of it, and then just cut down the middle, and then pour in your milk.
Yep. It says it has a crisp finish, and you can. It definitely does. It doesn't feel empty on the tongue after you drink it, but it's rather pleasant still. I think it's good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I could buy packs of this and be perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it does. I feel like hang around just a little long on the tongue, but it's still pretty good.
But it's fine because it's not like a bitter aftertaste or anything. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing unpleasant hanging around.
Right. It doesn't leave your mouth too dry, but it doesn't leave it like I don't know. It's a really good balance.
It's got some body to it, which is so the Cigar City, Florida. I don't know what it's, but anyways, they've got their wheat beer, their basic version of this. So it's kind of funny to see theirs versus the Alaskan, and you've got two totally different temperatures of when you would drink this beer. And so
But
Florida's is very light body, light flavor. It's kind of like very watery, and this one has more of a body to it. It's more built up. It's got more flavor built into this beer, I think, than Florida's version.
well, Florida is aiming for that
Crushability.
that cool instant relief. Where
This is adding to where it's going to add that relief, but it's also like this has some heft.
For sure.
you feel good, but you'll feel good for doing it. We should probably talk.
Let's talk a little bit about the brewery itself.
I was about to suggest the very thing.
What do you think
It's
about that, Bob?
Well, I think you can. I read the last thing, so go ahead.
Oh,
As we try to pawn it off on one another.
so Alaska has its own rich history of brewing, from the explorers of the 1700s through the gold rush, and many a thirsty Alaskan, they have been able to enjoy locally made beers. In 1986, 28-year-old Marcy and Jeff, I'm guessing Jeff Larson, reignited that tradition when they opened the Alaskan Brewing Company, the 67th independent brewery in the country, the first brewery in Juneau since Prohibition.
That's a really bizarre distinction. It's the 67th independent brewery in the country.
Which,
all right,
we know how many independent breweries. Well, over 4,000 independent breweries now. So 30 years to go from 67 to
that's
over 4,000.
Crazy growth.
Yep. Alaskan beers reflect many of the same characteristics of beers that were brewed here during the Gold Rush era. From the historically based Alaskan amber recipe to alder smoked malts and Sitka spruce tips. Am I going the right direction there? Alaskan beers reflect Juneau's local brewing history and innovation.
That's what they say from their site.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a nice little brief history.
Their marketing spin.
Right, but this is really my first kind of experience with them, so I'm pleasantly surprised. I was like, this should probably be okay, but I'm always afraid now with our live episodes that we're just going to get another, Guinness pack.
Yeah.
Jesus. The Guinness pack or the Goose Island pack, either way.
Oh God.
No, okay, we were able to stomach the Goose Island. It's just that Guinness pack was just downright terrible. I don't think anyone could finish any of those. But talking about Alaskan as a brewery, it was great when I went to be on Cincy Brewcast, and we sat down with the owner of a local brewery back in Cincinnati, Listerman. He had just gotten back from a trip to Alaska where he went to Alaskan Brewery and was talking with them about a lot of the things they were doing, and he was kind of getting some ideas for what they could implement back here, or I say here, back in Cincinnati.
No, well, they can implement down in Sevierville.
Yeah, well, they could do this stuff down here, because he was talking about their sustainability and kind of going green up there, and it was, what exactly were they doing with spent malts and things? They were somehow harvesting the gases off of the spent malts to produce power for the brewery.
Doesn't does New Belgium do something like that?
They have
New Belgium does a ton of stuff. Yeah,
they've got a biodigester that they use to create some sort.
Yeah, biodigester for their beer right here in my belly.
New Belgium and Uinta both do similar things like that. So. Yeah, breweries are more on the green turf than everybody else is.
I thought it was funny to look up. I'll have to find the list again, and we can talk about it maybe in the next audio episode. But someone just did a whole write-up about where breweries are ranking on going green, and New Belgium actually, I don't even think is in the top 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Well, they're large.
It's just they're very public about their efforts.
Right.
They're large. I mean, if it's like a percentage of what you do and is green, then they have a little bit harder road to climb than somebody that's making, 1 barrel a week.
All right. So how's everybody looking? About ready to move on to the next?
I mean, I could probably move on. Give me just a second.
So give him a chug second.
The first two should have been in all packs, right, Chris?
Yes.
So this next one probably isn't in everybody's pack.
It's I had some trouble finding this one because normally we like to we have a little bit about, you may have noticed that we do a little bit about the brewery, the beer themselves, some information about them. Yeah, that doesn't exist for this next one.
So the thing about the Alaskan packs is it's 3 staple beers, and then not even a rotating style like a lot of them do. There's just like one-off experimentals that's different from pack to pack almost. So I'm very interested to see what came in yours, Amos. Ours ended up being a grapefruit shandy.
So if you, this is something I had to school myself on after buying my first one. The first one came with a Big Mountain, I believe. That's what it was.
With the, I'm sorry, the what?
The Big Mountain. Yes. Okay. The first one came with Big Mountain. But if you look at the case itself, it has a BM inkjetted on the side. Then if you look at the other one, it has the GS for grapefruit shandy. So I have one of each.
Okay, awesome.
Someone came prepared.
Someone cracked the code.
Yeah. So I can go either way with it.
All we have is the grapefruit shandy. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to talk about the shandy. However, if you want to double fist these, I'm follow your heart.
More power to you. I mean, we fully support it.
It's cold. Beer warms you up.
Don't worry, I poured the most atrocious pour just now. There's plenty of time until that head dissipates. My God.
I am disappointed in you.
Ashamed.
Next time I see you, there will be lessons. And
well, I know how. I was just like, oh, let me pour this, and I looked down and was like, damn it. So I've got to say, it's hilarious. I'll hold this up. It looks like a nice lager in the video.
Yeah.
Everything just looks amber.
No, everything looks like an amber in that video. I'm pretty sure we're going to pour something else a little darker, and it's going to come out amber.
It looks like
everything's red.
That Guinness video or Guinness photo that everybody went crazy over a few months ago.
Oh, yeah. The one where they poured the Guinness and it's just flowing over the top of it, and it's like spilling out, and we all stared at it like, you're a monster.
It's just
they were
a straight yellow pour. I wouldn't call it color.
Yeah.
It's like
we just have like a bit of a soapy kind of head on ours.
Yeah, there's some interesting particulate in here. not like kombucha bad, but like I'm just like, wow, that's
something.
We got some yeasty floaties in this one. Smells a little soapy.
Tyler, that's neon.
It is kind of bright, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much about the shandy. I'll go ahead and jump on this grenade. So basically, if with this one, this is part of a specialty. They have a new program. They're like, hey, rate this. Tell us what you think. They have an article on their site that's saying like, consumers buy Alaskan Brewing Taste Alaska Sampler Pack this summer or spring. The rotating style may be a brew with the Q rate this beer. They put in there the putting forward Pilot Series Smash, Galaxy Imperial IPA, Spruce IPA, Spruce Topia IPA, Gold Creek Ale, Cream Ale, Grand Spruce Ale, and Grapefruit Shandy. So there's no telling what you. Well, apparently there is some telling about what you're going to get.
Yeah. Now we've been learned.
We now see the source code for.
If you could, if you crack the code on the side that is just the initials.
There was as I went hunting. There's no rate beer for the not rate beer. We don't use that devil service. Beer Advocate. There's no Beer Advocate thing. There was, however, Untapped, which at the very least can give us IBUs and that's about it.
That's about it.
ABV.
Yeah.
I think it's 4.2 ABV and allegedly no IBUs.
Well, shandies. So
Shandy.
I find it interesting. This is only 4.2, and everything else is 5.3 or 5.7.
Yeah. Well, again.
If you do, so I don't know how they made this, but shandy's traditionally what? Lemonade, half beer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shandy is just the thing that says shandy on the label to me, and I go, okay, sure.
So if they took a traditional beer, made it up, and then added grapefruit juice instead of lemonade to this, I think that's really what this is.
Yeah.
Reminded me of.
I don't like grapefruit juice at all. It's like one of the most horrid flavors in the world to me, and it's even bad. It's not great, but it's not bad.
I'm really kind of in Amos's camp right now. Like, yeah, I'm not a fan of pure grapefruit juice.
I'm not going to throw it away, but I'm not going to buy it again either.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not going to seek this one out. The Untapped score, by the way, was around like 3.5 or like 3.25. So I'm betting you're probably not going to see this one circulate a whole lot.
Possibly
Not. I can't imagine this being one that gets rated up there, and they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna be one of our new."
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of shandies anyway because they're so sweet.
They are. I maintain the only pumpkin beer that I'll drink is the Jacko Traveler Shandy.
Oh yeah, that one. That one has so many other spices in it.
It's an interesting experiment, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it is weird to see a bunch of. These are like heavy floaties.
Yeah.
It's got a milkiness to it. There's like almost chunks in here that are floating around.
It's like I need a pull sifter and I just go in there and just.
Everyone, get your nets out.
Oh. Did we lose your video there, Brittany?
I cut it off just because like we're getting really hard like stream back, so it's everything's kind of cutting out for us.
Yeah,
you got it.
Internet here is not favorable.
Chris, is your brother there? Like he can just go out there with a satellite dish and stand at just the right angle to maybe help improve the.
Get a little tinfoil.
Wrap him up in tinfoil and have him stand in awkward little positions to
bring it in.
I don't even think that could help.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So-
She's handing it to me if
I can't do the rest of the shandy, guys. I'm sorry.
indicating it gets dumped.
Yeah.
Too sweet. Too sweet.
Oh, I thought it was dry.
That's some intense grapefruit.
It is-
I took it as rather neutral. It wasn't overly sweet like I thought it would be with the grapefruit, but then it wasn't necessarily dry either. So I don't know. Oh, give it a grade of interest.
I'm always the one with the weird taste. Yeah.
Well, I think we
What's something that you have? What's something really good you've been able to get up there recently?
So
What's been tickling your palate?
speaking of Alaskan beers, their pilot series is their seasonal, not even really seasonal. It's like a one season. Like, hey, we're going to do this, and it's going to be over, and you're not going to get it anymore. They have I forget what it's called. But it's a raspberry wheat. And if we hadn't just taken recyclings out on my way before the show, I would just go grab the bottle. But they have a raspberry wheat that's pretty decent. But then they have currently in their pilot series is a coffee stout. And it is.
Oh yeah, I was about to. Is it the mocha milk stout?
Yes. Oh.
Oh, I was about to get a bottle of that because I saw it where it was at Jungle Gems where I got this. And I was staring at it and I was like, I would love to get that. And I was like, but we've already grabbed an extra beer for this episode. So I'm going to have to, I got to hold off on that one.
Yeah, that's their current pilot series. And that is so right. Because one of my favorite beers ever is Left Hand Milk Stout.
yes.
Never drank enough of that. And it doesn't have the same creaminess to it, but it's got a lot of the same spirit. And man, it's really good. So that's kind of my current favorite. And I'm just gonna make it a habit to anytime I see a new pilot series by Alaskan, I'm just gonna grab it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see what they got.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'd seen before that there was a smoked porter in their pilot series that was floating around that caught my eye. But again, I never pulled the trigger and bought the bottle. And I always
So
regret it.
that smoked porter is exactly how I found out about the pilot series because I was like, oh well, that looks interesting. I'll get one of those one day. It's not around anymore, and I didn't get it.
Well,
Yeah, I didn't passed on it, and then by the time I thought, I was like, well, I want to go grab one of those. It was gone. It was the milk stout, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
could be worse. Could be those El Coco feels, right, Casey?
Yeah, because they brought it back, but it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same. They monkeyed with perfection, and they got what they deserved.
Yep. Should have never done it.
Jeez.
So yeah,
yeah.
a little. We've not found any local beers where we're at, and it's kind of a damn shame because we're like 45 minutes away from Asheville.
Yeah.
And no Asheville beer makes it over here.
Oh.
Can't. State lines are a tricky thing. Sometimes you need Burt Reynolds and a cowboy hat to smuggle it across the line for you.
Now, I'm going to bring a throwback to the to Nerdtacular here real quick.
Oh.
And that if you find a bottle of that 30-year Perseverance by Alaskan Breweries, buy all of it.
Buy every bit they have.
I'm hoping somewhere in the world there's a warehouse of it just sitting there chilling, waiting for people to buy. But that is my favorite Alaskan beer ever, and they just need to put that in mass production because that was so delicious.
What I feel like
that was the one you brought up to the bottle share. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, I have one bottle left in my fridge, and it's being saved for a special occasion.
What I feel like there probably is I feel like there's probably a warehouse with one like crate of it. They wrapped in a wooden crate and they put it in there, and it's sitting right next to the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, that's
hopefully
the best beer I've had in a long time.
For some kind of anniversary thing, like, in a couple of years we'll be like, hey, remember when we did our big anniversary release? Well, here's some more of it.
Yeah, they just do that every 5 years. I'd be happy because I just buy a 5-year supply at that time.
I think we need to put back.
That's like us with KBS.
Oh God, we had some KBS we brought up to Nerdtacular, didn't we?
Yeah, we brought a bomber of it, but
Okay.
we didn't let it warm up enough, and it was like real harsh on the alcohol sting.
Yeah. It wasn't the best showing for KBS, but that's
That was our fault because we got too hyper about other beers and forgot to get it out of the fridge.
Yeah.
There was so much to have then.
Guys. Yeah.
There was a lot of beer.
There was time then.
For anybody watching or listening that ever has a chance to join these folks up at a Nerdtacular, I would suggest very highly whether you do that early and often, because that was an amazing 3 hours we spent up there tasting. Oh,
man, we aimed to please.
From what we remember, that was an amazing.
Well, what we remember, it was 90% methane.
Probably luckily for me, I had my kids, so I couldn't go over the line. But man, yeah, that was a good time. So if you're listening to this show and you have a chance to meet up with these folks anywhere, just do it. Just make it happen, because it's going to be a good night. I can guarantee you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love drinking with our friends. And speaking of which, I think it might be time to move on to our next.
I believe it is.
Our next friend.
You're that Tom Merritt transition there.
Our next beer.
Don't bring attention to the segue.
Okay. Sorry. I will go into this one. This is the Ice Bay IPA. So this is the
Ice Bay like a girlfriend that's
I
really
swear
cold?
to God, I thought about that, and I was like, the first one that makes this joke, I'm going to have ritually killed.
It's not spelled the same.
I'll
Thank
stab
God.
you.
Okay, so India Pale Ales are characterized by intense hop flavor and aroma, accompanied with medium maltiness and body, while also being crisp and dry. So the original gravity on this one is 1.057, ABV 6.2, 65 IBUs, and then 9 SRM. The flavor is Alaskan Icy Bay IPA is made from glacier-fed water and a blend of Cascade, Bravo, Calypso, Summit, and Apollo hops, and premium two-row pale and specialty malts.
I don't know any of those hops outside of Cascade.
Yeah. Well, we've heard of Apollo periodically, actually.
We've heard of Apollo,
we've ever come across
sun god of Greek mythology.
Right.
This is
Right.
This is actually a really nice color. I'm about to get to that, but I'm just showing it. It's got a nice.
Oh yeah, no, I concur. I'm looking at this thing, go like, yeah, hello darkness, well, not darkness, but
Definitely
never mind. We'll
the-
save sound of silence for the next. We'll save sounds of silence for the last one.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
It wouldn't matter if we held ours up or not.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
if
turned
we
the
had
video off
like,
to-
it's just red.
No, you should hold it up and show it to the.
You can just clip out a scene from when they showed the first beer, and then just keep shamming that on it.
Here.
Oh, look at that beautiful light color. Oh, it's just amazing. Look at that nice red.
Looks like it's
Beautiful
milky.
red.
It's orange juice, Chris. It's
Yeah. It looks like a cider. That's what it looks like. So this is my the one I'm looking for least. So I want to go ahead and drink it and give you an immediate response to it, since I'm not prone to bitterness or IPAs.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was delicious though.
Yeah.
I love the smell of it.
It's not super bitter. Like, it could be much worse as far as the bitterness is concerned. I mean, we've had like crazy ones.
Yeah.
That's actually good. I don't like the afters. I need to treat.
Yeah.
It's kind of strong in the after bitterness, but it's kind of skating a nice line between the citrusy and like resinous pine.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty well balanced. I'm not getting as much aftertaste, but it's there it is. It leaves that little bit of that resin on the aftertaste, and it's a little bit much, but it's honestly that I'm still kind of okay with this. This could be a nice little sessionable kind of thing.
65 seems very high for the IBUs. It's not tasting nearly that level. I would probably say we always talk about the aggressiveness of the hop. This is a non-aggressive hop bitterness in this beer.
Like the difference between like the 60 and 90 minute IPAs from Dogfish Head.
Well, even you can find two beers that are 65 IBUs and they taste nothing alike as far as the bitterness goes. The bitterness level can be totally different between the two. But yeah,
this has got some real sweetness to it though, which I think balances a lot of the bitter as well.
And not a you expect a citrus for sometimes from I don't know. We're so used to the citrus IPAs at this point, but I'm not really getting any citrus from this.
This is how the IPAs get you. This is how they get you into the gateway. They're like, oh, I mean, we're not all bad. Maybe some of us are just kind of. I mean, you'll taste a little bit, but we'll balance it out. Everything will be fine. Before you know it, you're waking up in a den somewhere in Pakistan, smoke billowing around with an IPA next to you, going, "How did I get here?"
So what you're saying is this isn't Icy Bay IPA. This is Gateway IPA. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's Gateway IPA. This and what was ours? The
Citradelic.
Citradelic.
Yep.
Yeah, when it comes to the IPAs, I like to always say that it's finding the one that will bring you into it, because for all of us, we hated like the extreme hoppy beers when we started all this. And then with Citradelic, it just led us down that road. So I was so excited at Nerdtacular when I was offering IPAs, and so many people were just snubbing them immediately. So I pulled out that New England IPA, that Team Fiona, and started pouring some of that. And you got a good drink of that, and you're like, that's when you got all excited and looked at Kent. You were just like, Kent, it's an IPA I like.
No one can say no to Baby Hippos.
I will say that as I'm drinking it, the after bitter is dying down very quickly. Like very fast, faster than I would expect.
Yeah, it loses that aggressiveness the more you drink, of course.
It's a wimp bitter. It's a wimpy bitter.
Yeah. All right.
We do so. Okay. Before we move on to the next one, I do want to point out we've got a little bit of an announcement.
We do.
Yeah, just for the next episode. So we want to remind everybody that our next audio episode will be posted around October 31st, and we're actually going to be covering smoked beers. So that should be exciting.
I need to go to the store.
Yeah.
I need to go get a puke bucket.
Casey, not a fan of the
I think
smoked
I'm
beers.
the only one that pumped about smoked beers. So, to be fair.
I don't know. I'm pretty jazzed about it.
Yeah, that's true.
But to be fair,
We're usually on the same page.
we need to complete the research on it, because the past 2 audio episodes, we've gotten to the end, and then it's like, oh yeah, there's this whole thing we should have included. Or Casey looks over and goes, oh, I've got a whole book on this. We should have looked at that. It's like, yeah, we should have.
Anytime my lady gets excited about a drink, I get excited about the drink, whether or not I like the drink. Just letting it be known.
Yeah, because most chicks aren't into beer, I guess.
Why did you sound so disappointed at that?
I don't know, because it feels weird. I'm like, what are you guys drinking?
She wants more female friends. She doesn't want to have to hang out with us, Chris.
She's known as the beer chick. That's.
I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, but still.
That's the chick that likes the beer right there. Go check her out.
Could be worse. It could be worse. Don't judge on that one. My wife is starting to get into power tools, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was very interesting for the homebrew when we're down there making. He's like, "Where is my drill?" And she's like, "What do you mean your drill?"
That was great, actually. Those are my tools. Don't touch my tools.
So real quick, speaking of the homebrew, I think we're probably at like a final update on it, Casey.
It's kegged. It's in the fridge. It's carbonated.
We were close to
Keg
bringing that out before I left the hills of Eastern Kentucky.
It probably was done.
I was going to ask if you poured yourself a little taster.
I have not. I want to run cleaner through my lines for the year. Like I haven't cleaned them in probably a year and a half, and so I want to make sure they're good and clean before I do.
We didn't have a taster of the carbonated beer, but we did have basically a taste of the mid product, let's say.
Uncarbonated beer, basically. Flat beer.
I think you guys are going to be happy.
The syrup.
No,
Okay.
Post fermentation, so not super sweet, not like the sugary sweetness that you see with syrup before fermentation. So this is post fermentation and just right before cold, right before it gets CO2 in it.
Okay.
So
I'm sad that we have to wait until like Thanksgiving to get some of that.
Yeah.
No. Beer's giving.
I'm excited though.
We'll be up there.
Beer's giving, yes.
Beer's giving, yes.
We'll be picking our packs in like a week.
Oh, that's true.
And so I can.
Well, yeah, but we'll be in Lexington.
Right. You can't take it back home.
Oh, we can. Yeah.
I can
You
either
can bottle.
I can growler or I can bottle off keg. Either way, it works. So yeah, we'll get some here in about a week.
Growler.
I would like to have it prior to the smoked show.
I like to have it for the smoke show.
Right. That. Yeah.
Yes. What a good idea, because we did a homebrew, like we did a whole morning home brewing, and Casey, what exactly was it that we started making?
It was a maple. We started with a special syrup that had a bacon flavor to it, but by the end of it, we couldn't get that syrup. So it was a maple bacon porter. Sorry, not maple bacon. It was a maple smoked porter.
Maple smoked, yes. That's
With vanilla.
Oh, with vanilla, yes.
Yeah, and then in the middle of brewing, Casey's like, "Oh, I just happen to have a fistful of split vanilla over here. You want to just throw that in?" Yeah.
Had some like
a fistful of split vanilla, like you do.
Like 10 or 15 vanilla beans in the back there that I hadn't used in a year, still sealed. So I was like, yeah, why not? They're aged. It works. And you can Bob can attest. You can taste that vanilla.
Yeah,
it stands out quite well.
That's fine. That is totally fine.
It's always such an eye opener when you actually get to do some hands-on brewing like that. Just because we talk about a lot of these processes, and when you're actually going through it, and you're like, oh, it's just that easy, right? You're just literally dumping.
It is not.
Helps when you're not drinking throughout it. I don't recall much of the brewing process.
That was an interesting stream. Alrighty.
There's a reason we yanked the videos down to be edited first, because got a little drunk.
Threats were made against political figures, and no, I'm just kidding.
Maybe,
probably
I don't know.
not.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you either way at this point.
So I have this big mountain. I don't know if you guys have any information on that real quick that you want to throw out there. But I'm going to go ahead and pour this and give some first impressions.
Yeah, I was actually going to recommend time to.
So let's see if I can keep the camera and pour this together here. Nice tilt.
Just be careful. Know that I'm judging you if you do it poorly.
That's really nice. Let's see.
Apparently, my pour is going to get me in trouble.
It's I don't even know how to explain the flavor on this. It's very good.
What's the style again?
A pale ale.
Okay.
Well, that's what they say. I don't know what pale ale is Alaskan for. I'm assuming.
Pale ale. It's Alaskan for coffee porter.
There's like 2,000 miles of interference that could change meaning. Okay, that's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Just drink more.
Keep drinking more. It'll come to you.
Yeah, right. It's a little bitter. It's I don't know if I'd call it fruity, but it's definitely got some sweetness to it. Making my mouth water a lot.
I mean, that's not the worst reaction.
It's not. It's really good. I like it.
Oh, right, awesome.
We'll have to see if we have that one. I wonder if we just got the one kind near us.
Well, because this is the one that he got instead. This is the one that's not the grapefruit shandy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go and check the code.
Yeah, just look for the.
We'll figure that out.
You say I'd rather have not the grapefruit shandy actually.
I'll take all your grapefruit shandies.
I'm just not about. I think it's just shandies in general. I just can't do it.
Yeah, they're okay, but after a certain point, I'm kind of I'm spent. I don't want more of them.
Pretty much.
Well.
All right, so we're pouring the next one now. Which this is okay. So this one isn't in the pack. So the pack just has the 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the
yes.
Okay.
pack has been concluded.
This is an extra
greedy.
one. Yeah, so this is a 6-pack that we found when we found the sampler pack. And this one is the one, I believe, that won a medal.
Yes, so this next one actually brought home gold at GABF this year in the coffee beer category. This is the Heritage Coffee Brown, ale brewed with Heritage Coffee.
Hey.
Oh, the Great American Beer Fest.
I almost grabbed a 6er of this when I grabbed the rest of these, just because it sounded good.
I'm about to find out.
Because it looked and sounded good, and then that was before GABF, and then it brought home a gold medal, and I was like, well, apparently I made a good decision.
Which this beer started out maybe in the pilot series?
Probably.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I think they mentioned it did on the site.
It surprised me because the pilot series really is their next level. They give you the randos in the sampler box, and then if it makes it past that, it goes to pilot, and then if it makes it big from there, they'll go ahead and put it in production.
Okay.
So
it's not a bad business model.
If I didn't live so damn far away from Juneau, I would actually visit the Alaskan Brewery and be a regular there. But they don't have sub brews up here, so
yeah, they haven't tried to expand and get like some extra locations. Like
no, but I mean, if they watch this, if they happen to see this and need somebody in Wasilla area to help them taste beers and things like that, and the local variety, but just reach out to me. I'm really easy to find at. More than happy to do my part in helping the success of Alaskan breweries.
We'll tag the crap out of them. Yeah.
Hey, we've tried that with other breweries and have been so far unsuccessful.
Hey, Flying Dog liked our tweet though on that one time.
We've not.
So.
All right, a little bit of
New Belgium has not yet offered to hire me on spec. So.
True.
So this is the Heritage Coffee Brown Ale has become their fall seasonal.
Oh.
I don't know if I even need to drink this. I can just sit here and smell this all show.
Oh, it's delightful.
Right?
Smelling. It's the Heritage Coffee Brown Ale. This rich brown ale has a big cacao aroma with light, earthy, roasty, and gourmet coffee notes. Original gravity is 1.071. ABV is 7, so this is the highest ABV out of any of these.
Yeah, geez.
Bitterness is at 19 IBUs. Color is 25 SRM. The darkest.
Okay, I have to see what this looks like against that light. I have to.
Let's boot the video back up.
Sorry, I glanced over the stream and just saw like a pin in the map of Alaska. I was like, yeah, there. That's where you go.
Pull you.
It actually does look dark, but it still looks red.
Oh my god, I took a sip of this. I'm a changed man.
Oh,
I'll never wander again, Alaska.
That is amazingly good.
Oh my god.
Oh yes.
This is a sad day for me.
Oh.
I'm sorry. There's still time. It's the fall seasonal. You could probably go out and buy some for at least another week before it's winter seasonals.
That's something we could talk about for a second. The season creep isn't just for, snack foods. It is also in beer.
Look, if it was only for snack foods, then I would be a happy person because those little Christmas tree cakes would be available year round, and I would finally have the sustenance I need to survive.
Ashley, when you were up here on the first night this past week, when she went out and got Doritos and whatnot, she said, I looked to see if those Christmas tree cakes were out that Bob likes. And I said, no, not yet. Believe me, we'll know.
I mean, I'm surprised that they're not, honestly.
There'll be gifts of me dancing in whichever grocery store I happen to be in. Just
so yeah, we're currently midway through October, and Stone Shokoveza, their spice stout, is already out in 6-packs everywhere.
Yep.
Stacking on shelves, and everyone skipped. We were getting all excited, like, ooh, what fall packs we're going to eat, because last year New Belgium had a good one, and Sierra Nevada had a really good one. Everybody skipped them, and now the winter variety packs are already landing. Mm-hmm. And I feel kind of gypped. I don't know.
All right, well, what are your impressions of that beer other than color and all that kind of stuff? Why is it?
okay, so this is... Yeah, no.
No, here I am. I'm trying to usher your show along with your shtick. So I just
No. We gotta skip past it. Okay, so honestly, let's see the description of the flavor here. It says has a big cocoa aroma with light, earthy, roasted, and gourmet coffee notes. That is dead on.
It's true. It's so true.
It says it has a light sweetness with fruity hazelnut and medium coffee flavors.
That's what it is. In the nose,
hazelnut.
I get a ton of hazelnut.
Yeah.
The coffee is the coffee's a cold brew flavor instead of like drip coffee.
Nice.
So I'm liking a lot of people doing the cold brews instead.
It's much better. It's like richer.
Adds like a creamy note.
It also says
Yeah.
it uses English malted oats and English chocolate malt, and so I bet that has something to do with it.
The English chocolate malt is
Coffee
definitely going to
beans.
pull in like a toffee-ish type flavor on the back end.
It's like drinking toffee covered chocolate beans.
Yes.
Coffee beans. Yeah.
You have to get a pack of this.
I'm pretty sure I just said
You're
coffee
totally
covered
amazing.
chocolate beans. So sorry.
I think it all works though. I think you're good.
I mean,
Yeah.
it could go either way. But no, yeah. If you can find Amos, if you find this somewhere, freaking get it.
If you have the means.
It's actually available everywhere right now. Like and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet.
We all make bad decisions.
I was all focused on making sure I had the right thing, you know.
Fair enough.
It's fine.
Yeah, this was just a bonus. This was an extra.
But
No, I'd sip this and say, well done, Alaska. Well done. Gold medal, well deserved.
Seriously.
This whole pack was actually fairly solid.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw a curveball in there. I have another one that was just sitting on my fridge.
Oh,
Alaskan Kicker Session IPA.
let's hear it.
Oh,
That would be lovely.
I mean, if we're just throwing out all the Alaskan beers,
Yeah.
man,
it's going. If it
I
says
should-
Alaska on the label.
No, we're gonna whatever the fellow from Alaska has, we're just gonna listen. and
it just popped on me. So
Good sign. Good sign.
really, really citrusy. I'll give it that.
This never happens.
But luckily, I put it down on my desk right before it decided to pop at the top.
Before.
Here, we'll give it the official Amos color test here. It's starting to look like all the other beers.
Yeah, really.
We've managed to find one of them. Let's go give it our official.
the official view.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yep, it looks amber. Yep, it's coming across amber.
This is actually a little bit. It's a brighter yellow, but it's darker. I don't know how to explain that other than it's
going to a deeper amber than it is like a golden.
Yeah, but it's still. I don't know. It's pretty good. Let's definitely smells like IPA. I mean, that's.
It looks like the color of cider.
It's nowhere near. It tastes a lot like the Icy Bay, but it doesn't. Nowhere near as bitter at the end. Way smoother.
Because it's session, yeah.
Coming in with 45 IBUs, 4.5% ABV. Mostly Amarillo, Citrus, Simcoe, Mosaic. So you're going to
So
get
that's a nice mix.
Yeah. Amarillo Citra is the best out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Oh, yeah.
there's two of these that are tickling my fancy.
Mm-hmm.
For a non-IPA guy that I am, this is pretty good.
There we go.
I'm going to try it down with that hop profile. No,
Yeah.
definitely with those hops. I need to try that.
The sessions can be pretty refreshing when you get used to them too. Did you see that one anywhere in your house or?
I did not. They just put a ton of them out in the bottles and create your own 6-pack area. I might have to go double check and see if they put some more.
I mean, perhaps it's
Oh,
like,
the
oh
create
no,
your
we
own
have to get
6-pack
some of the
area.
gems.
The create your own 6-pack. My home away from home.
See, here's the beautiful thing about Alaskan breweries, especially for you guys. You ready for this? I'm about to break out something just amazing for you. You happen to who lives in Alaska that has your shipping address. So I don't know how.
Very good point.
I don't know how they correlate, but I'm sure there's some nuance to that.
Possibly.
It's you're gonna have to label it brewing supplies.
Or taste samples.
Yeast samples.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is.
Yeast samples.
I was actually planning on surprising you guys by shipping you a brew earlier, and totally just because I'm an idiot, I drank it and I forgot to get another.
No, it's fine because it's illegal to ship beer into Kentucky.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I'm in Alaska.
Shipping yeast samples.
Think of how long it would take for them to actually try to process any kind of like legal ramifications for that. It'd be fun.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. I shipped it as separate ingredients. The fact that it got shaken together so long to get there. I mean,
it's the darndest thing. The post office brewed it for me.
I feel like this is something Brewdog would have a show about. We're brewing on a mail truck.
Yeah, so if ever there's a Casic or an Alaskan or any of these other local breweries that you might need a sampling of for your own research, of course, research samples, just I'm a tweet away. We can make this happen.
Yeah, we were recently discussing that we may need to set up
like a PO box or something.
Show PO box
in Ohio.
Maybe
in Ohio.
Yeah.
Where it is legal.
where it's a lot more legal.
Wait,
Maybe conveniently might work.
it's illegal to ship to you, but is it illegal for you to receive? Because think about this. In most places, it's illegal to give cigarettes to someone under the age of 18, but a 16-year-old can walk around with cigarettes all day.
Yeah,
I believe it is that because in Kentucky, in order to legally sell any amount of alcohol, you have to have a liquor license.
That's right.
Well,
we wouldn't be selling
or
it.
to transport, because it would be considered the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say because technically, just getting it's not the same as selling it. It's actually the opposite.
That's why when some of us come across rather valuable bottles of bourbon, ifs can be kind of tricky because once the dollar amount exceeds so much, it actually becomes like a tax thing, and you have to really at the table be like, "Here, you can have this."
I feel like bourbon is the reason this law is on the books.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh. I wish you guys could see the bottle bringer.
Gigantic bottle of Maker's Mark with Buffalo Trace bourbon cream right next to it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Things are getting ready to happen here.
Vacation nights.
Is that pretty much what we have for today?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Amos.
So.
No, I was just going to say Amos. Tell us a little bit about. Oh yeah.
Hold on. With it, like I'm not gonna like this is being saved for my retirement, but this is
he pulled it out.
Nice. So I did see on Total Wines Online, they do have bottles of it for sale for $8.99 a bottle, but I have yet to find a state that they will actually ship to. It's one of those things that
I'll drive to whatever state you want.
I clicked down to all of the different states, and I was like, is there any way we could like just hop over a line or something and get it? But I clicked on all the states and could not find one that they shipped beer to, although they have beer for shipping.
They're lording it over people. They're like, "Oh, we have it. You can't get it, but we have it."
So they're doing the same thing I'm doing. Okay, I got it. No, that's cool.
But Amos, let us know.
That looks good, though.
Let us all know a little bit about what you've got going on right now.
Okay, so I have two things that are public right now. Ritual Misery Podcast. Every Thursday night at 7:00 Pacific, we jump on Twitch and DiamondClub.tv, and we share all things that are geeky, anything that we geek about, and it can be from the new the SNES classics that came out, all the way to when I bought a riding lawnmower for the first time. I geeked out about being a homeowner and actually having my own power tools.
Man, riding lawnmowers really changed my life as a young child.
It changed my life as an adult child. So
just saying, helping Dad with chores became a lot easier.
Drinking beer became a lot easier.
I can see that.
You got to have your own Hank Hill moment there.
I'll tell you what.
But yeah, every Thursday night we jump on there. We get great guests on. This last week, but I haven't published it yet. But we had Christy Cates on not too long before that. We've had everybody from Scott Johnson and Tom Merritt. You know, the podcast gods that they are. The Night Attack crew. We're hoping to have you guys on, but you guys have this whole time thing where you guys have to get up early on Friday mornings and stuff.
Some of us do. Some of us.
Tell Chris to do it in the morning.
We'll break it to be there with you guys. I mean,
I don't need sleep. That's cool.
I routinely have gone without sleep and showed up to work half drunk and been like, I shouldn't be here because
sleep
of this
is for
show. No, forget it. It's great. It's fine. We'll do it.
Sleep is for closers.
Sleep is for the weak.
Yeah. And in fact, this month being October, I instituted a thing where we've been trying a new beer for each episode, and it's worked out pretty good. But that's 7 p.m. on every Thursday on twitch.tv/podcast Ritual Misery Podcast, and of course diamondclub.tv. And then I also do a show called Undaunted, where this is the meta part of it. Okay, I interview podcasters about podcasting, and I ask them how they got into podcasting, how they rate their success, and I've gotten everything from, man, I'm a straight F. Like, I can't get anything right. I'm just chugging along trying to find something that clicks, all the way to a 99.9% grade because I'm the best podcaster in the world except for Tom Merritt. Like, that. I've had several responses. Wow. It's been all over the place, and a lot of great advice, a lot of experiences, a lot of podcasts that have faded away for various reasons and either come back or spawned into new ones. And that's a great show. It's about half an hour long. It's usually pretty clean, whereas Ritual Misery Podcast is no holds barred with the language, so keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. And
don't bring your kids in.
Yeah, that one usually comes in on Wednesdays if I can get somebody to record. Hint, hint, the four of you. And that's a lot of fun. And if you're into podcasting at all, if it's just something that's even sparked an interest in you that you might want to do one day, give that one a listen. I've had everybody from Tom Merritt on there to Odocta, who's the next best podcaster in the world, according to him. So that's a lot of fun.
I always get his name wrong because I'm like, it's something JJ Stone.
Owen JJ Stone.
There we go.
Yeah, and of course I do produce a show for. I do produce a show for Odocta on Tuesday nights, IQMZ Sports. So if you just want to see me, actually not hear me, but see me switching the boards for an hour while two guys talk about sports, that's every Tuesday night on a lot of the places. Like, you search for IQMZ and you'll find it. And then I have a secret one going with Jenny Josephson and Richard Gunther, two very different circles, and they are amazing people. And we are going back and watching a show and experiencing it through three different points of view. And it's not released yet, and I shouldn't talk about it, but it's got this great theme song. So that should be hitting airwaves as soon as I can start. I can get some stuff edited and released. So that's an amazing show. And Richard Gunther has never seen it, never read it, never done anything. Jenny Josephson's actually trying to keep up with the books while we're watching the show, and I'm kind of looking at it from the videography and the production aspect of it. And God, that show's so fun, and it's all because of them, because I'm just an asshole that records. But yeah, that's what I have going on. That was a lot longer than I planned it to be, but thank you.
You're a busy man.
Well, I just hate myself a little bit more.
More than willing to.
My lack of accomplishments.
We are more than willing to be.
Sorry, Brittany.
Any of your shows.
Anytime.
This is so.
So how about this? I'll give you guys a challenge. All right, we do not have a guest for this Thursday's Ritual Misery Podcast, 7:00 p.m. on the Pacific time zone. If you would like to join us, this will be our last Oktoberfest. Trying a new beer. If you would like to try a new beer with us, any beer that you want, you can choose whatever beer you want, and come on and just SOS, shoot the shit with us. By all means, all of you are invited. If
What
you just
time is that in Eastern Time Zone?
that is 10 o'clock
10
in
p.m.
the evening.
You know what? I'll probably have to work the next day, but whatever. I'll be there.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
The Fraser coat of arms. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
And that is we do that by Skype, so that way we can blast it out to the world and not get as many of you in the window as possible. So you can't even shy away. Oh, there's already somebody that volunteered. No, that doesn't fly.
Excellent.
We've already been talking about, because we're going to have to move ours here shortly because Google hasn't officially announced it, but it's pretty much unofficial that Hangouts is going away. And then we're like, what's Tom going to do? Tom does all of his shows on Hangouts.
Yeah, that's true. Well, on Hangouts on air, so that's okay. I'm addicted.
I have some ideas for the off-air portion of this show for what Tom can do with his show once the Hangouts goes away. But I'll leave that for the off-air because it's a very unpopular opinion of mine.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, cool. I think we're good. I think the overall consensus. I think I'm just feeling it out here, but I think this pack is a buy. Like
Yes.
Everybody should go buy this
Yeah,
pack if
I'd
they
say
can
buy.
find it. Yeah, if you
You
can
have the
find
means.
this pack. Yes.
If you have.
You can find the freaking coffee brown.
Oh.
Get that yesterday. Like,
Yeah, the Heritage Coffee Brown. If you have to choose between this pack and the Heritage Coffee Brown, get the Heritage Coffee Brown.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good in that pack, but that Heritage Coffee Brown is...
See, now I have to wait until these beers finish up in my system so I can go buy some Heritage Coffee Brown at the local distributor.
All right.
So you can subscribe and get some great resources at haveadrinkshow.com. Follow us at Have a Drink Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and please rate the show on iTunes to help spread the word.
Don't forget, you can tell us your favorite drink, ask a question, or just leave some general feedback. You can use the email address feedback@haveadrinkshow.com. You can also use the feedback page on the website. And I still maintain, you can also stand out in your local street corner with a sandwich board that says haveadrinkshow.com.
we're okay though.
That's my favorite way to do it. All joking and fun aside, guys, I'd like to remind everyone to please drink responsibly. Don't drink unless you're 21. Don't drink and drive. Use, any kind of service app to.
A lot of ride sharing apps these days.
Ride shares get you around.
Check us out in another couple of weeks for the next video, and remember to check us educational focused audio feed next week. Once again, I'm Brittany Lee Walker.
I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Casey Price.
I'm Christopher Walker.
Messed that up.
Oh, God, it's pandemonium.
Oh, God.
I'm Amos, and I know I'm not supposed to say anything right now. But if
No, you can say whatever you want.
if you
No,
need,
you are.
if you're in a place and you need help, reach out. Reach out. Find
Yes.
somebody and have a beer with one of us, and with me. Find me on at Ethan Kane on Twitter. If you're in a place where you need a friend, reach out because I'm here for you.
Sweet.
It's getting to be a whole.
All right, awesome.
That's a major thing. And by the way, I forgot to mention this earlier, so hopefully you keep this part in.
Yeah.
StreamCon 2018 StreamCon. You guys were part of it last year. An amazing part of it. We raised $2,000 to help children's hospitals across the nation. We're doing that again this year. Hoping to raise even more money, and that'll be all New Year's Eve on DiamondClub.tv. We'll figure out how to get it on there. And you do not have to spend New Year's Eve alone. Come join it. Spend it with us in the chat room.
Exactly.
And do not spend New Year's Eve alone.
Excellent.
We had a great time with that last year. We're definitely doing it this year, and it's going to be a blast.
It was probably.
We'll see how many.
All right.
We're gonna get a Twitter account just for Chris's beard after last year.
I mean,
Yes.
All right.
all right, guys.
It was
We're going to close this out.
Yeah,
So
it
everyone
was
have a good one.
some of the best drinking that we've done was on New Year's Eve. So we definitely
We've
can't
already
wait to
been
do that.
drunk.
So
Bye, guys.
Once again, Brittany, close us out.
No,
right,
just we're done.
Yeah, we're just
Done.
We're just
It
gonna be
ends
done.
there.
It's fine.
We stop.
Bye.
Bye.
There
Holy
you go.
crap.
All right, we don't have control, Casey. It's up to you to hit stop cast.
I want that part to still be in the stream.
Badly.
The NCO pandemonium.
Is it- Have a bathroom break. The the most celebrated portion of this show.
Really glad I applied for those waters.
Oh, I should switch over to the logo.
New producers.
That's what happens.
Causing that feedback.
I'm just going to put it out there that, contrary to popular belief, producing is hard.
No, it I wouldn't think it was easy, and I assume it's much harder than I actually think.